set the world record for vomiting. Oh, hey, hi. Sorry. Hello and welcome to The Jib. This bi-weekly podcast is about the many and varied schemes of the many and varied US law enforcement and intelligence agencies, organizations, and committees, and how they are stupid and funny. Join us on our merry journey through space and time. Hi, my name is Barry, and I don't know if you can tell, but in the background we have daylight. Normally I do not have daylight in the background because we are recording this 9 hours ago today. So and to prove it, the Syrian government has just fallen and Syrians are going mad. So this happened today. We are recording this today. The reason is because I have had a terrible cold and my voice was not ready for prime time. So Seamus, ever the facilitator, kept checking in every 4 hours and saying, "Are you good now? Are you good now? Are you good now?" And this is as good as it's going to get, guys. That's mine. Seamus, you're Seamus, I hear.
Hello, everybody. You may know me as the guy who would not narc on alleged killers of billionaires.
Say that again?
You may know me as the guy who would not narc on alleged killers of billionaires.
Oh, right, okay.
Might be relative.
We'll see. But we're not here to discuss RSV or whatever they call colds these days. We're here to discuss the Secret Army Organization.
Yeah. So you ready for this?
I hope so.
April 15th, 1923. Before I start this, just throw out a couple of the sources I'll be including is the New York Times, ACLU, and COINTELPRO, The Untold American History about Paul Wolf. So I'll be quoting heavily from them because I'm a hacker fraud.
Did you use that book before?
No, I actually just found that. So, yeah.
Well, where was that last year?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, April 15th, 1923. Robert Bolivier Depew was born in Independence, Missouri. When he grew up, Robert enlisted in the Army, but was discharged due to having mental health issues.
They probably didn't call it that in 1923.
No, probably just said, "You're crazy. Go to fuck home."
Yeah.
Yeah. He went on to attend Kansas City University for a few months, then dropped out.
Where all the crazies go. Kansas State, woo, go, whatever they are.
1953, he founded a veterinary a veterinary drug firm, which lasted until 1956. So you notice, like, his ventures are just getting a little bit longer as it goes, right?
Yeah. Does that mean he's getting a little bit less crazy over time?
We'll see. He enrolled at Washburn University briefly, then started a biolab, another veterinary firm in Northern Missouri, which was more successful. In addition to veterinary products, the company produced a malt-flavored, ultra-compact storage food for humans called Minutemen Survival Tabs.
Like NASA stuff.
Yeah, or stuff that Alex Jones would be selling.
Okay.
Yeah. Some 45 years later, this product is still being used in survival.
Minutemen Survival Tabs.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep. He became a member of the John Birch Society.
Ooh.
What's the John Birch Society, you may ask?
Yeah.
It is an American right-wing political advocacy group founded in 1958. It is anti-communist, supports social conservatism, and is associated with ultra-conservative, radical right, far right, right populism, right-wing libertarian ideas.
Do you know where I learned about the John Birch Society?
What's that?
Bob Dylan.
Huh.
He has a song called John Birch Society Blues.
Nice.
And it's very funny.
I
because
did not know that.
He talks about them looking for the Reds under the beds and all the communists, like what you just said there, right? But the joke in his song is that he went to the bathroom and he's like, "Oh, I think I saw one in the toilet, but he got away." It's fucking funny. Anyway, go on.
That's about right, though, right?
Yeah.
Robert was convinced that the U.S. was under threat of imminent communist takeover.
Of course, he was.
He became disenchanted with the John Birch Society because they weren't doing enough, obviously.
Imagine being the sort of person for whom the John Birch Society isn't anti-communist enough.
Yeah. So this guy reminds me. I don't know if you, whenever we did the other podcast, I did an episode of William Pierce.
I don't remember that episode. No, you mean the Free Thought podcast?
Yeah, the author of the Turner Diaries.
No.
He felt the same way. So it's like
about the John Birch Society.
Yes.
Fucking lefties.
Exactly. Yeah. Pierce thought that Eisenhower was a communist.
Eisenhower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to the Pew.
Yeah, sorry.
That's my bad. That's my bad. So, anyways, he decided to form the Minutemen in the
Yeah.
early '60s. Forged as a last line of defense against communism, the Pew Secret Warriors were devoted to building an underground army to fight against the enemy within.
Oh, that won't end badly. An underground army.
Yeah, the
That
enemy
always
within.
ends well.
The enemy within is something that's been quoted recently by a guy. He's taking office soon. Yeah, in 1966, New York Minutemen were arrested and accused of plotting to bomb 3 summer camps
Oh,
alleged
no.
used by communist left-wing liberal groups for the indoctrination purposes.
Oh, dear.
Subsequent raids uncovered a huge arms cache that included military rifles, bombs, mortars, machine guns, grenade launchers, and a bazooka.
Okay.
Uh,
So now we already know that the FBI is involved.
the Pew was arrested on federal charges, which were later dismissed. The offices were bombed in '67, and the Pew resigned from the Minutemen in '67 as well. So pretty much,
Whose offices were bombed in 1967?
their own offices, I guess.
By whom?
The Minutemen. I don't know. I don't know if it was one of their own
Communists
or what.
Okay.
In February '68, he was indicted by a federal grand jury in Seattle, Washington, for conspiracy to commit bank robbery.
Okay.
So this idea of committing bank robberies to, get funds for the upcoming revolution, so to speak, is something that's been used over time, usually by communists.
We call that the IRA protocol.
Yeah. But a group did this later in that same region. I believe they're called the Order, and there's going to be a movie about them starring Jude Law later this
called the
month,
Order.
I believe that's what it's called.
That sounds like a Netflix science fiction thing.
Yeah, but no, it's a real thing, and the before mentioned William Pierce is heavily involved in that group. So he's
the same guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that.
Seamus, are you just gonna do an episode about William Pierce? Because you might as well.
I think we're gonna have to.
I think you should.
But I don't know how much FBI stuff. Well, anyways.
No. Do you remember we spoke? I don't know if we did it on camera, but we spoke earlier that we're going to do little known figures from history.
Yeah.
We have 2 side podcasts now. One is Founding Feckheads, about the Founding Fathers and how they're all feckheads. And I think we're starting another one about little known figures from history, which will be a podcast length investigation into people you've never heard of, but who are fascinating.
Yeah. Or some you may have and just didn't know.
You never heard of any of these people, unless you were listening to the Free Thought podcast.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah. So, yeah, anyways, in '68, he was arrested for violation of federal firearms laws. He skipped bail, went underground for over a year whenever he was caught in '69. In Truth. Oh, wow. The Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. That's an actual.
That is the name of the town. Yep.
Okay, that's awesome. He was convicted of.
It's a funny story about how that town got its name, but that's for another time.
Yeah, but that could be another episode.
Yes.
Federal firearms violations in 1970 and sentenced to 10 years in prison. But that's the last we'll talk about the Pew in this episode.
Is that sarcastic or is that real?
It's real.
Hang on. Take care of this. Come here. Look, it's Shane. You absolute shit. Never mind. Sorry. Carry on.
It's all good. So February 1966, Minutemen from 4 states led by Jerry Lynn Davis met in northern Arizona. They were convinced that communist elements in the Justice Department had destroyed the group. So it was the communist faults, right? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. That's the thing about the Justice Department of the United States. It's very communist.
Yes. Undeterred by recent events, they formed the nucleus of the Secret Army Organization.
Okay. So it's basically an offshoot of the Minutemen, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
This time it would be different, right? The SAO would be armed, but less militant.
Okay.
They would be more of a propaganda group capable of waging guerrilla warfare against leftists, but only if needed. Emphasizing regional autonomy and decentralized structure, they believed that they had inoculated themselves against unwanted attention from communist-controlled government agencies.
But wait a second, Seamus. If they're, what did you say? If they're doing propaganda group capable of waging guerrilla war against leftists, who's in the CIA?
Exactly, right? Shortly after The meeting chapters were established in San Diego, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Seattle, with promising contacts made in Portland, El Paso, LA, and Oklahoma.
Wait, now that means there's an appetite for this kind of bullshit
Oh, yes.
in places you would not associate with that kind of bullshit. Like San Diego is not notoriously anti-communist, as far as I know, or Seattle wouldn't be a haven of anti. That's strange, right?
Yep, right-wing racists are everywhere, man. You know,
Phoenix, I get.
A review of events in San Diego submitted to the church committee.
Church committee.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a whole episode on the church committee.
How many of my episodes have mined the church committee report?
Yeah. Based on public admissions of the officers and agents involved, including sworn testimony at various criminal trials and statements given to newspaper reporters and investigators, described how the FBI played a central role in the creation of the secret army organization.
And there it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Placing informant Harry Barry Godfrey in a leadership position. Yeah. Godfrey, a San Diego fireman, devout Mormon, and self-stylized commando, was an FBI informant for more than 5 years.
Self-styled commando.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. According to ex-members, it was Godfrey, hold on for this, who was the real force behind the SAO while employed by the FBI.
Okay.
Yeah. Godfrey selected the organization's name, defrayed its startup cost, including expenditures for printing and mailing literature.
Okay, so when you say Godfrey this and Godfrey that, you really mean the FBI this and the FBI
exactly,
that.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. By September 71, there were 4 active cells in San Diego.
Fuck me. In San Diego?
Yep.
Have you been to San Diego?
No. But
it's pretty blue.
Yeah.
4 active fucking cells of this shitty fucking Minuteman spin. Oh, because of the Tijuana border, is it?
Well, sometimes you have to go where the enemy is, right?
Tijuana?
Little did they know that they were under direction of the FBI.
Of course,
the state's ultimate secret army organization.
State's ultimate secret army organization. So fucking cynical.
San Diego was the center of a thriving activist community committed to a multitude of projects, and even to the nativist rights.
Yeah.
With 200,000 active duty soldiers stationed at nearby bases, the Movement for Democratic Military, the MDM, was outgrowth of the anti-war effort to influence soldiers bound for Vietnam. MDM organized had made small but promising chinks in the military's armor.
It's a bit racist.
Campus organizations by the Student for Democratic Society and the emergence of militant Chicano organizations in the area were viewed as serious threats to successful prosecution of the war. A thriving underground press in the form of the San Diego Street Journal was in stark contrast to the conservative establishment-oriented media. Nothing's changed there. But when the Journal ran a series of expose on the shady financial empire of Nixon crony C. Arnold Smith, the response from the right was swift, and it soon turned violent.
But not as militant as the Minutemen, apparently.
No. Nope. Between February 69 and January 70, residents of the Minutemen launched attacks against the Journal. Bullets were fired into the office, paint splashed over furniture, equipment smashed, record subscription lists were stolen, staff cars were firebombed, good old times. Journal vending machines were vandalized. When the newspaper attempted to relocate its offices, their prospective landlord was arrested by the San Diego Police Department on fabricated murder charges.
No, hang on.
That's bizarre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now the police are getting involved.
Uh-huh.
That implies that whoever these ex-Minutemen terrorists are, that they're working with the police. Again, we call that the IRA protocol, when the terrorists killing your people are working with the police.
Yeah. As the SAO gradually came on, speaking of the IRA, did you watch Say Anything yet, or Say Nothing?
No.
The FX special. Anybody out there that's interested in the IRA, it's really interesting. It's really good.
You said it portrays Jerry Adams in a negative light.
Very negative light.
No interest.
Okay.
That man is a national treasure. And yeah,
Well,
he's not telling you where the bodies are buried. Well, that's just one of those things, man. It was a war.
yeah, we can have the debate.
Okay,
So yeah.
you
Anyways,
leave that man the hell alone. He gave of himself so that Ireland could be free.
still the best tweet exchange ever was, and I'm sorry, I can never remember what she goes by now. Eddie is her what her chosen name is now. But
Oh no,
the
that was just
exchange,
the icon that person used.
yeah, what was the exchange
He
between
said he said he was having he said he couldn't set up his Christmas lights properly because he
Jerry
didn't know how to.
Adams?
Yeah, Jerry Adams, the real Jerry Adams, put a tweet up saying he was having trouble setting up his Christmas lights because he didn't know when to move them off or on or whatever.
Yeah,
And this other person come in and says, "Surely, Jerry, you know someone who could fit a timer."
so, so good,
That was
so
one of the
good.
funniest things I've ever seen on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, the landlord was really
Jerry Adams was the quartermaster for the IRA. He was in charge of getting bombs in and so on. That was his job.
allegedly, yeah,
Oh, it was definitely. He lies about that, but I
yeah,
understand
exactly.
why he's lying.
As the SAO gradually came online, sorry, the landlord was released, by the way, an hour
Okay.
later, and he told the journal that they'd have to look elsewhere.
I'd say
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was absolutely made certain to him that the journal will have to find somewhere else to go. Yeah.
yeah. As the SAO gradually came online as a bureau surrogate, attacks against the newspaper and
Oh,
its
they kept
staff
going.
intensified.
Okay.
Another SAO target was Dr. Peter Boehmer, or Boehmer, a radical economics professor at San Diego University who was popular with students and articulate spokesman against the war. Harassed by conservative university bureaucrats who objected to anti war activism, Boehmer was fired after a protracted struggle.
Hmm.
Predictably, his much publicized battle with university drew SAO scrutiny. Beginning in 71, a vicious campaign was launched against the professor
Wait now. After he was fired, or while he was still working with the college?
after he left.
Okay.
Well, beginning of 71, it's about the same time because I think this
Okay.
is like he's exiting, and yeah. Let's see. This is actually from Professor Boehmer himself. Although no group I worked in San Diego planned or carried out any violent actions, and many groups were purely educational. 20 people I knew in these groups turned out to be police or FBI agents
Of
or
course they
informers.
did.
Many worked for both. They worked hard to cause divisions among individuals and groups. Some, but not all, were provocateurs. The FBI visited my employer, the SDSU, to get me fired. They visited landlords where I lived to get me evicted. They opened my mail, monitored my checking accounts. They got anonymous phone. We got anonymous phone calls about people being agents who I am sure weren't. FBI sponsored groups did fire bombings, slashed tires of my cars, continually death threats, and put a wanted poster on me, distributed by San Diego in 1971.
Well, that'll
So
get him on side, won't it?
yeah,
Now I see that your economic interpretation of the free market is correct. Now that you've bombed my car and
right. The market has spoken.
the market
And
is okay.
in April, in April, tear gas crystals were dumped in a car parked in front of his house. May 4th, a muffled voice warned over the phone, "Quote: The crosshairs are on you."
Yes.
In September 71, San Diego was chosen as a site for the 72 Republican convention. Harassment against Boehmer increased, punctuated by
Jeez.
assaults targeting the anti war and Chicano movements. Among these acts were destruction of the newspaper offices and bookstores, firebombs of cars, and distribution of leaflets giving the address of the collective where the anti-activist Boehmer lived. Quote, for any of our readers who may care to look up this red scum and say hello.
Where's that? Where was that?
That was on the leaflets printed out
Okay.
of his address.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yep. On January 6th, boy, that date comes up a lot. 1962,
Mm.
SAO dramatically upped the ante. Earlier that day, SAO cross-sale stickers,
Oh
crossword
no.
stickers, were plastered on the door of Boehmer's office. That evening, a caller threatened, quote, this time we left a sticker. Next time, we'll leave a grenade. This is the SAO.
It's a funny way to spell FBI, isn't it?
A few hours later, in a parked car outside Boehmer's house, SA soldier George Mitchell Hoover, not that Hoover, fiddled with his gun. Sitting next to him was Godfrey, the FBI's informant, or liaison, however you want to say it, aiming a 9mm Polish random pistol. Hoover fired 2 shots into the house. He would have fired a third, but the weapon jammed.
It's goddamn Polish machinery.
Right.
Yeah.
The first bullet. Sorry, there you go. The first bullet struck San Diego Street
Oh, no.
reporter Paula Tharp,
It hit
shattering her
someone.
elbow. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
The
jeez.
second bullet nearly missed Sherry Whitehead and lodged into a window frame above her head.
Jesus. That's how you know you're doing proper journalism, anyway, when your elbow shatters.
Right.
Yeah, fuck me. That's rough.
It's more tennis elbow. Two shell casings matching the slugs were removed from Thorpe's arm. That doesn't sound right.
2 shell casings matching the slug removed from Tarp's arm were retrieved from the street. That sounds fine.
Yeah. Well, okay, we won. Yeah.
No,
the
look,
next
I'm,
day-
I'm, I'm buying from the car, right?
Yeah,
She got the
yeah,
bullet
I
and the
got it,
casing
I
was in
got
the
it.
street. Yep.
Just sorry, is this phrase wrong?
No, we need the red string. We need the red string
Yeah.
model.
The next day, Godfrey turned
Dun,
over
dun.
the gun to his FBI control agent, Steve Christian, a devout Mormon. These Mormons keep popping up.
Yeah.
And dedicated anti-communist himself. The special agent hid the weapon under his couch for the next 6 months, while the San Diego police conducted a half-hearted investigation.
No, the police conducted a half-hearted investigation. Wow, that's never happened before in any script we've ever had, is it?
Yeah, they just didn't really wanna, I have to. Through guilty of covering up a criminal act, Christian insisted the bureau supervisors knew he was hiding the gun and fully proved his actions to protect confidential sources.
Knew he was hiding the gun or gave him the gun?
Yeah. Although the Tharp shooting generated considerable publicity, even some pressure to make arrests, the San Diego police responded with the absurd story that Bomer carried out the attack himself in an effort to attract sympathy for his cause. False flag, right?
Yeah.
Relentless harassment continued throughout the spring of '72. More firebombs, threatening phone calls, more crosshair stickers. Just another day at the office for right-wing
Just another day at the office.
but then the group made a fatal mistake.
Oh, whoops.
One of them would cost dearly. On June 19th, 1972, William Yakupik entered the Guild Theater, a local porn house. Concealed under his jacket was a bomb.
Did you say a porn house, like a pornography cinema?
Yep, porno.
Okay.
Yep. Brown chicken, brown cow.
Well, this is 1972, so I know exactly what they were showing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Doing the Pee Wee Herman shuffle. Yeah. After he pried a cover loose from the vent in the rear of the building, he hurried, left the premise. Moments later, a powerful explosion ripped through the theater, destroying the screen, blowing debris 50 feet into the air, showering the terrified audience with concrete shards and 2x4s.
One lad was like, Jesus, that's never happened before.
I'm gonna.
Fucking hell. What's the name of this movie again?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ultimately, for Jacopo, the SAO, a deputy district attorney, unfortunately, I should say, a deputy district attorney and a San Diego cop were in the audience conducting an investigation to determine whether the movie I Am Curious met permanent criteria to be banned as pornography. Yeah.
Taking careful notes, I'd say they were.
Oh, yeah. Those city fathers had no problem when a right-wing militia directed their wrath at suitable targets. Taking out a cop and a district attorney was too much, even for the San Diego. Reuben D. Brandon, the officer who nearly escaped being blown in the Kingdom Come, angrily phoned the FBI and demanded that they name the informant.
Oh.
A week later, 7 members of the SAO were behind. It's funny that they knew that, right?
Yeah.
That he knew who to call and what. Yeah.
A week, like they had the whole thing wrapped up in 7 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 7 members of the SAO were behind bars. Jacopo was charged with the Guild Theater bombing, George Hoover with the Tharp shooting, and the group nominal leader, Jerry Lynn Davis, while receiving stolen property, possession of illegal explosives. Reluctantly, the Bureau realized that the time had come to shut down the project.
Wah, wah, wah.
During During the investigation of the guild bombing, the Yakubo home of those of the SAO members were raided. Investigators recovered 2.5 pound blocks of C4 plastique, HDP primers, plastic caps, 340 feet of fuses, SAO literature, stacks of crosshair stickers ready to go on a small arsenal of weapons, including an unopened case of M16s valued at more than
Jesus.
sixty
The
thousand.
machine gun.
Yep,
A
machine
case of
guns.
machine guns.
Case of machine guns.
Fuck me.
Uh, during
That little known Joni Mitchell song, A Case of Machine Guns.
during a simultaneous raid on the homes of Genevieve and Richard Fleury, police seized the ammunition, dozens of
Oh my god.
revolvers, Lugers, 8 bandolo containers, more than 1,000 rounds of 30 caliber bullets. It was later revealed that some of the munitions that had been transferred to the SAO came from the Marine base at Camp Pendleton by a right wing physician, Dr. Harold Young, an ex Minuteman. Dino Martini claimed that he had been involved in the transfer, and the SPD and FBI were aware of this.
The doctor.
Uh huh.
Somehow funneling guns from the military base to these
Yep.
Egypts. Okay.
Yep. From the New York Times, San Diego, June 26th. The American Civil Liberties Union completed today a report for the Senate investigators alleging that the FBI investigation recruited, uh, yeah, Federal Bureau of the FBI, yeah, you know what I'm saying, recruited a
Yes.
band of right wing terrorists that supplied them with money, weapons, and attack young anti
Brilliant.
demonstrators. The ACLU attorney Frederick Heder discovered during subsequent investigations that the FBI infiltrator Godfrey supplied 75% of the money for the SAO in order for the terrorist army to acquire weapons. From the Times again, the goddamn, I can't speak at all today. The ACLU report said
There
that
you
John
go.
Raspberry, whom is identified as an FBI informer, had admitted that in the winter of 71 to 72, the Bureau instructed him to assassinate Mr. Burmer, the professor, right?
Peter Bremer, yeah.
Yep. But the attempt was never carried out.
Okay.
Another FBI directed plot to assassinate Mr. Burr was allegedly set up in 72 with Gil Romero, a member of the San Diego Police Department's anti submissive Red Squad, as
Hmm.
described by an FBI undercover agent. According to the report, Mr. Burr and uh, Linco Bueno, a member of the Brown Berets, a left wing Chicano organization, were to be lured across the Mexican border to a desolate area near Tijuana. There, they were to be killed by the Mexican federal police
Federales.
for possession of cache of smuggled weapons. The plot was abandoned. Mr. Young reported presumably when the Republican convention was moved to Miami. Uh, in the 10 point,
From San Diego.
uh-huh,
Oh, I know, because I read a Hunter
yeah,
Thompson story about it, and it wasn't in San Diego, so that,
right.
that explains that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In the $10.6 million lawsuit pending in federal district court here, former President Nixon's name heads a list of 58 defendants, including officials of the FBI, the Central Intelligence Agency, the National Secret Council,
Here we
and
go.
half a dozen government agencies, as well as the defendants in the Watergate case.
Yeah.
Mr. Nixon, according to federal court records, accepted summons at his home in San Clemente on January 14th.
Can I just read that again, just real quick? Former President Nixon's name heads a list of 58 defendants, including officials of the FBI, the CIA, the National Security Council, and half a dozen other government agencies. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. Fuck you. Fuck the lot of you.
Yeah. The FBI's creation of the Secret Armies organization here as a successor to the paramilitary Minutemen broke up by the local authorities in 1970 was said by the ACLU to have been an extension of an earlier espionage activities by the Bureau, including the 1968 operation with the code name Inlet. Under Inlet, the FBI allegedly made daily intelligence reports involving demonstrators and domestic radicals to John N. Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yeah,
Now we were
the
getting
Attorney
somewhere, right?
General, to Mr. Nixon by way of H.R. Haldeman.
Haldeman! These are all the names I remember from Watergate. We've got like
Yep.
jail sentences, and at the end of all the president's men, the names come up. John Mitchell, H.R. Haldeman.
The former chief advisor of domestic affairs at the Nixon White House. The ACO alleged that when the FBI set up the secret army organization here in '71, in advance of the Republican convention, it chose one of the two leaders, Howard B. Godfrey, a former San Diego fireman, elder of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and for 3 years the FBI informer and the Minutemen. So he was already doing his shtick before then. Godfrey testified in the '73 trial of another member of the secret army organization who was convicted of bombing a motion picture theater. So,
no one.
The porn house, right? That the FBI furnished them with or paid for $20,000 worth of weapons and explosives for the so-called secret army organization over a period of 5 years. As a member of the Minutemen and later secret army organization, he said that he had paid about $250 a month by the Bureau. In addition, the FBI's direct control over the secret army, the White House allegedly maintained contact with the group through Donald A.
Segretti!
Who was later convicted for campaign of political espionage and sabotage
there you go.
against the Democrats in '72.
Yeah.
Segretti,
he was the source of the phrase "rat fuckers."
Yep. Which, no, it's not in this. I actually thought I had it as part of this.
No, but Donald Segretti, in his separate news, he's the source. If you're in rat fucking, meaning to rig an election using propaganda and so on in a democratic country, called a rat fucking.
According to the ACU, having told the secret army that to get rid of any potential troublemakers at the '72 Republican convention would have gotten rid of an apparent reference to the so-called Liddy plan.
Liddy!
He had described during the Senate Watergate hearings.
Oh, the old team back together again, Gordon Liddy.
Whereby the leaders of the anti-Nixon element would be kidnapped and taken to Mexico. The plan was derived from a G. Gordon Liddy, former counsel to the Committee for the Re-election of the President.
Creep.
Otherwise known as a credible Nazi. The leader of the White House plumbers, who was convicted for conspiracy, burglary, wiretapping, and Watergate.
Okay, real quick. If you have not seen All the President's Men, a movie made in 1975 or 6 about Watergate, it's fantastic. It's about the two journalists who broke the story, and it follows them around, and it's just them trying to get the story together. So it's a kind of a political thriller. Nothing really happens, but it's just so well directed and acted, you don't give a shit. It just lads on telephones for an hour and a half, but it's great. Also, watch a show called White House Plumbers.
Yes.
It has all the same information, but it's all true, but they've presented it as a sitcom. It's like every episode just gets funnier and funnier, but they didn't change any of the facts. Yeah, they didn't change any of the facts. It's just so well written that you just like, Liddy is a fucking Nazi. Yes. In his house, they're playing like not the Blumen Lied. What do you call the beer lead? What do you call that German song? The Horst Lied, I think they call it.
Yeah, it's where they did for the beer hall push.
Yeah. That kind of stuff, and he's like speaking half in German and all this kind of stuff. Like, oh my God, it's so funny. Watch White House Plumbers and watch All the President's Men for a kind of it's not a comedy. It's a serious political thriller with exactly the same information, but presented as a political thriller. Very good. Both of those are very good for all of the last paragraph, a bit of context.
But G. Gordon Liddy always, anytime you'd be talking about something, that there was something successful, he'd be like, that kind of reminds me of the SS. He would always bring up the SS constantly. He was so much of a Nazi. Hitler would be like, hey, dude, can you calm down a little fucking bit over here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just full of goddamn.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes.
After Mr. Godfrey's courtroom disclosure of his FBI connections, the secret army organization was forsaken by the FBI, quickly fell apart. So, what were the results of the exposing the external links between the federal authorities and the secret army organization?
Well, I can tell you what the results were. I'm sure COINTELPRO just stopped.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think they had already said by the time that this had gone through that they'd stopped doing COINTELPRO.
Okay, then we're making something out of nothing.
Yeah, right. While Yekapik, Hoover, and Davis went to prison, Godfrey was never arrested for any of the secret army organizations acts of violence, allegedly at the insistence of the FBI. Instead, the FBI appointment was rewarded with a job in the state fire marshal's office. Agent Christian left the FBI shortly after his role in the affair came to light. Refusing to talk, Christian would only tell reporters that the FBI is taking care of us. The FBI then continued with other illegal intelligence and terror programs directed against Boehmer and associates, including several assassination plots, um, which I had a hard time finding more information about, so I didn't really include in this.
Fair.
Not one of the FBI agents or informers had been prosecuted. The head of the FBI in LA, working in the San Diego FBI at the time, was Richard W. Held. You might
Okay.
have heard him. He's been
Yeah.
involved in cases, many activists and political prisoners, such as heroes of the pod, Judy Berry, Peltier, in a future episode on Geronimo Pratt.
I've never heard of Geronimo Platt, but I'm going to go yay.
And that, folks, is the Secret Army Organization, a script
Okay.
that I've been working on since the beginning of this show.
That is true. When we started this podcast, we had 5 things we were going to do, and one of them was Secret Army Organization, and one of mine was PB Success, I think, the one about Guatemala. But one of them was the Secret Army Organization, so we're doing well. We're making it through our list of 5 podcasts. Which episode is this? 23
This is episode 40.
40, okay. We're making it through this 5 podcasts.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's, don't die on me, dog.
What's in the news?
It was okay. Oh, yeah, it's time for that thingy.
Just before every podcast, me and Seamus, we type in FBI and CIA into Google, and then we hit the news tab, and we try to find some funny or stupid stories involving the FBI and the CIA, the idea of which is to illuminate how stupid and funny they are currently being, as opposed to how stupid and funny they were in the past, which is what our podcast is about. That's why we do this, to entertain you people with the madness of the current. Seamus, what do you have for FBI?
So this is very current, right? One thing is, which we referenced, the execution of a mass murderer, aka the CEO of United Healthcare. The FBI is they put out a award and they're trying to take down that hero. So just put that out there.
Very sad news, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Did you see that there was a look-alike contest in New York yesterday?
No.
Oh, that's fucking great. Anyways,
but I saw someone on Instagram who put up a photo of all the healthcare CEOs next to how much they're making.
Yeah, well,
and Thompson was making some of the lowest numbers.
Yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield that same day said that they would stop paying for anesthesia for some surgeries.
Anesthesia?
And then literally reversed it the next day.
What kind of thing is that to do to somebody? You have to have this cancer operation, but, anesthesia is expensive, man.
Oh, but we're not going to do that now,
Okay, good.
Direct action works, folks. Anyways.
Yeah, direct action. That's one word for it, I guess. Yeah. Literally, has anybody said, "Oh, this is terrible"? Has anybody said this is like, "Oh, why did you do that"?
Yeah. Pretty much all the Democrats.
No, but I mean, when the microphones are switched off, has anybody said like, "Oh no"?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Shapiro is crying about it, so it's got
to be fuck about what Ben Shapiro's doing.
Anyways, this is from the AP, so try to get a somewhat objective point of view on this.
You leave the Associated Press alone.
Trump's pick for the FBI. I don't know if you heard about this guy. Is Kash Patel? He's kind of a psycho.
Yeah.
So here are some of the questions that are raised about him. He's musing about shutting down the FBI's Washington office.
Why do they need that?
We've talked about them moving, to
Tel Aviv
and all that. Yeah, might as well. All that, shenanigans.
Yes.
There's more concerns over that now that he's involved. He's talking about finding conspirators in the government and media. So
conspirators like human communists, like.
Yeah, like people that are trying to expose, what wingers do. He's also a big 9/11 truther.
No.
Conspiracyist.
Really?
Which, I mean, there might be some things to those things, but, I think he's on the Alex Jones side.
Kash Patel's not going to find him.
No.
That's like saying, "Oh, we don't know if how we got here, but your answer, your supplementary answer is God did it."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there might be some questions about how the universe got here, but you don't have the answers.
He wants major surveillance reform.
Surgery is what he wants.
Patel was a fierce critic of the FBI's use of surveillance authorities under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. In his Sean Ryan Show interview, he called for a major reform.
Well,
Now
good
that
luck getting that
sounds
appropriations bill through.
yeah, that sounds great on the surface, but you know how these fucking guys work, right?
Yeah,
They say that they're just going to be very selective about who.
but the appropriation bills won't go through.
Yeah,
like even the Republican Congress, they're not staffed by morons. They're just very right wing. They're not stupid. I mean, a lot of them aren't stupid.
You've seen a lot of the people they've been picking.
I have, yeah, but some of them aren't stupid. They're just right wing.
He has also called for the reduction in size of the intelligence community. Again, so he's advocating the cutting of the federal government's intelligence community, including the CIA and NSA.
Kash Patel.
Yeah.
But if he's in charge of the FBI, he's got no say whatsoever. What happens to the CIA?
Exactly. It's not going to fucking happen. So, I mean, it's, interesting. I think he's psycho, but anyways.
Yeah.
So from the Middle East Eye, which also you sent me this too, but I'd already had another link for this, which was this. The FBI raided a home of Palestinian Americans over campus graffiti during Gaza protest. More than 80 students and faculty groups from across the country, including pro-Palestinian organizations in the U.S. campus, are urging authorities in a letter sent on Tuesday to investigate whether the FBI raid two Gaza protesting leaders last month. Two Palestinian American sisters, who were also students at George Mason University in Virginia, had their homes raided by the FBI. I'm going to skip down to what the letter actually says. And this is just for graffiti, folks. And I believe it was just Free Palestine. I think so. Everything was really red. Quote, do universities such as GMU routinely send phalanx of police officers in military fatigues, armored vehicles, carrying assault rifles, breaking into the front door and raid the homes of students during a pre-dawn hours over an alleged spray painting? Do administrators routinely rush to judgment and issue criminal trespass orders, the kind used to exclude serial sex predators and stalkers from campus against students who are accused of graffiti? It appears the answer to these questions may increasingly be by yes. So, it's pretty fucked up.
But if you scroll down even further, you'll see, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
So this one is kind of interesting. FBI warns Americans to start using encrypted messaging apps.
What? To avoid us reading them?
They're trying to say that the protection against China.
Because
China is looking in.
Well, China's welcome to read any of my messages.
But there's also some FBI agents who have said off the record that folks should be using the app called Signal.
I know Signal. It's like Telegram.
Okay. Yep. But they said this off the record because they're concerned about the incoming administration looking at their texts, because you know how the FBI got in trouble for some shenanigans. So
the Fash organize themselves in my country over Telegram.
Yeah.
Because it's untraceable.
Folks in Antifa and other related here use Signal. So
Signal is the good one.
Yep, so far. But if the FBI, you gotta just watch. That's all. So that's all I got.
Okay. My CIA links, I don't have our traditional one, but I have 3 other ones.
Oh, but you don't have.
I don't have the traditional one.
You don't. So we don't know.
I can't. I can only do one. I don't know where he is. Otherwise, it's not funny.
Oh, come on.
Do you want me to do it anyway?
Where the hell is William Burns? William Burns, William Burns. Where the hell is William Burns? William Burns this week.
I don't know.
Where the hell is William Burns? William Burns, William Burns. Where the hell is William Burns? William Burns this week.
It's still funny. Fuck you.
No, it's still funny. I find it funny every time, but I don't know. You'll have to. I don't know where he is. I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah.
I've not been well. Okay. My links for the CIA are. Here's a bit of text for you. Operation Timber Sycamore, CIA support for Syrian rebels. After violent protests broke out in Syria in 2011, the US began to flood the country with weapons. The CIA launched a covert program to arm and train rebel groups attempting to overthrow the Syrian government. The Washington Post reported in 2015 that this initiative had a budget of $1 billion a year.
Holy fuck.
Well, I guess that worked.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
God damn.
Also, the groups that the $1 billion of funding in Syria was are Al Qaeda groups. So the CIA is funding Al Qaeda.
Oh, so the guy that is running that was also somebody that they were like had wanted posters and stuff for?
Wouldn't surprise me.
WikiLeaks. I'll send this.
Okay. The next one is Hungarian CIA reportedly spied on EU officials. So the Hungarian Secret Service has been spying on EU officials. Hungary, as you know, is run by a guy called Orban, who is quite right-wing, bit of a fashy guy. More and more, it's looking like he's not really EU-minded. And I don't know if the EU is going to do anything about that, but we'll have to see. And my third link is Malcolm X family brings $100 million lawsuit against FBI, CIA, and NYPD over conspiracy to assassinate civil rights leader. Family lawyer Benjamin Crump claimed the agencies were involved in the plot, and their fingerprints are all over the assassination of Malcolm X, adding that we believe we have the evidence to prove it. All of those stories are interesting. The Hungarian one I just picked up today, and the Al Qaeda one, I think you and me have known for a while that the US was supporting Al Qaeda groups in Syria. That's not really a secret, but it's still funny to read it in text. And that is my links, and I guess that is also our episode.
Yeah.
So hello from 9 hours ago, if you're watching this.
Oh, and you might have known. I probably should.
This is my view out the window. Let me see a little view behind the scenes. This is what I see outside my front window. Hang on. That's my car, and that's the house across the road, and that's my driveway. Right now, you know.
Very nice. But yeah, you guys might have noticed a different setup here because StreamYard sucks. They literally doubled the price of what they're costing. So
Yeah.
Fuck StreamYard. That's what I got.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this one works before we give it our blessing. But hopefully everybody likes the setup better.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Yep, look for us
In the comment section below. Whoa. But don't feel guilty if you forget to like and subscribe. Don't worry about it. It's fine. If you forget to like and subscribe, forget about it. It's okay. Don't feel guilty about it. I'll understand. I'll just carry on.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
So, but
we're trying to keep this thing as tight as possible with as few viewers as possible. So we're trying to keep it tight.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. What are we doing in 2 weeks, Barry? We're gonna do
a CIA thing, right?
CIA or founding feckheads? What do you think?
I don't know. I'll think of something.
Okay. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.